What's going on, guys? Mickle here. In this video, we're going to be covering some super interesting information on Ripple and XRP. A flip of the switch moment. This has been one of the most controversial topics in the XRP community for some time now. Many people see the flip of the switch moment as hopium, but in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys some very interesting tweets out of Ripple and even Brad Garlinghouse regarding a flip of the switch moment, and I believe it will make you guys believe in an event like this more than ever. If this was to occur though, what would the price of XRP be? I'm going to be showing you guys an XRP price calculator that was actually made by a Ripple board member and the head of digital assets of BlackRock. Yes, the BlackRock that custodians $10 trillion worth of assets. I think this is going to amaze you guys and show you guys how incorporated XRP is already in transforming our current financial system. If you guys are new to this channel or come here all the time, make sure to like and subscribe. It is such a great way you can help support this channel for free and means so much to me. If you guys do not have an Uphold account already, make sure to sign up using the link in the description below. With that said though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. Guys, I want to start this video off with this tweet from Stephen Hubert because I believe it's going to go a long way in showing you guys how insane the SEC's case against Ripple really is. A lot of the time, we're really breaking down the intricate filings in this case, and we're really zooming in on some really tiny details. But I believe this goes a long way in just zooming out and showing you guys how insane this whole thing really is. So in the most recent filing in the Ripple SEC case, the SEC went to the court and essentially said that they have the right to modify or supplement their expert discovery witnesses' conclusions as more information comes in. Well, Stephen Hubert kind of points out how absurd this is, and he's kind of talking as he's the SEC here, and he says, "We at the SEC caution that we reserve the right to change our conclusions. However, we also would like to caution that this does not change the fact that Ripple has known since 2013 what conclusions will change." So what he's pointing out here is, if the SEC is still trying to figure out their position and still changing their conclusions based on facts, how is it possible that all the way back to 2013, Ripple was supposed to know what was allowed and what was not allowed? Part of the SEC's case is they are saying that all along, Ripple should have known the rules and they should have known they were breaking the rules, but Stephen Hubert is tweeting out, how could Ripple have ever known if, based on the SEC's own words, these rules and these conclusions are still fluid? It is so insane that the SEC is trying to say that Ripple should have known the rules when they are still figuring out the rules. Congress knows the rules aren't made. Lawyers know the rules aren't made. The biggest players in the crypto space know there's no rules, and so do we. It seems like the only people who think there are clear rules is the SEC, and we have already seen that multiple members of that agency have come out and said they too think the rules aren't clear. This entire case with Ripple is such a joke, and I cannot wait for it to be over so we can go back to Ripple changing the world for the better. Now, I want to keep moving and just point out how insane it is, because at the end of the day, Ripple tried to do the right thing. We can see that from a law firm back in 2013, Ripple actually received the notice from the law firm that got Ethereum its free pass speech that XRP, at the time it was still called Ripple, but XRP was decentralized and more likely not a security than a security. Multiple law firms came together and said because of the decentralized nature of XRP and because it was being used for utility rather than speculation, it was very likely that it wasn't a security. It is plainly obvious that Ripple did everything they could to try to be a responsible player and tried to actually beat the SEC to figuring out what XRP really should be. And the conclusion that everyone came to was XRP is no different than things like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's not a security. The SEC's entire case lacks so much evidence and is pretty much baseless. That is why I am so confident at the end of this, they are going to come on top. And as we can see since then, since this law firm claimed that XRP was not a security, XRP has only gotten more decentralized and less of a security. There is no way the XRP you and I hold today will ever be declared a security because it fundamentally doesn't fit into the own securities laws that are provided by the SEC. And as we can see right here, today's XRP, Ripple only owns about 4% of the validators on the XRPL, meaning that they hold so little control over the XRP ledger. If Ripple was to go away today, XRP would trade freely, and I don't even know what the SEC would do. If Ripple went away today, then who would XRP be a security of? Would the SEC just pick the next biggest player? It doesn't make any sense, and that's why we know the XRP you and I hold is never gonna be a security. Let's keep moving now, and I really want to move into this flip of the switch event. I think this is super interesting, and Linda Jones actually brought this to my attention. This is an old tweet by Ripple, and it says, Ripple is piloting a private version of an open source public XRP ledger that allows central banks to create and manage digital currencies, enabling global interoperability. Get involved today. So this is crazy. The XRPL is already working with central banks around the world. And yes, they are working on a private ledger. They're working on a private ledger because just like anything in the world, before you go live, before you start ramping things up with trillions and trillions of dollars, you need to put it on a test net. You need to make sure everything works properly. Does this mean they're going to continue to use the testnet forever and never use public XRP? Of course not. They are simply testing to make sure everything works right. The fact that central banks are testing with the XRPL shows that they have the full intention to adopt it. And what's going to happen when they're done testing? All the money, all the value is going to move over from the test nets onto the public networks. At the end of the day, there's a reason why Ripple didn't pursue a private ledger. At the end of the day, the internet is decentralized, open, and public, and blockchain is an add-on, an infrastructure layer for financial systems built directly into the internet. It's going to be public, it's going to be decentralized, just like the internet was. And you guys need to know, back in the day, everyone was saying, oh, the internet's going to be private. It's never going to be public. There was the same FUD, the same narratives going around, but at the end of the day, it's a testing ground. Eventually, when these institutions are ready and they feel confident in the systems, they will move over from the private ledgers to the public, and I believe this is the flip of the switch scenario. When this liquidity comes over, when this value comes over, all of it will rush onto the public network, and the price of XRP will go up exponentially. What might that price be? Well, we're going to get into that at the end of this video. I wanted to show you this though, and just so it's not my own words, I want to have you guys listen to King Brad Garlinghouse say it himself, because I believe this just adds even more merit to everything I was just saying.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening.
Flip the switch.
All right, obviously that had some humor to it, but is that not exactly what I was saying? There's a private ledger, they test the networks, and as soon as everyone's ready, as soon as everyone knows how everything works, they got all the pitfalls out of the way, they figured out what the value needs to be, what needs to go where. Once all the kinks are out of the system, they go live. We are dealing with something way too big to simply rush it all onto the public network and hope it works. We are talking about transforming the financial system, and it's going to need testing. It's going to take longer than a lot of us want it to be. But at the end of the day, the fact that the central banks are already using the XRPL should be the most bullish thing that could ever happen to a blockchain system. Let's keep moving though, and this is actually something that I didn't know about and blew my mind. I could not believe it, and I think this actually went over a lot of people's heads, but when I break this down for you, this is just as big as the central banks, if not bigger. So I tweeted out, XRP continues to blow my mind the deeper I go, and my mind was just blown again. The head of digital assets at BlackRock worked with a board member of Ripple to create an XRP price calculator. You're watching a show. Hold on tight. Our lives will change forever. And why is this such a big deal? Well, BlackRock is the biggest custodians of assets in the entire world. They custodian about 1/3 of all the world's digital assets. So the fact that the head of digital assets at BlackRock directly worked with a Ripple board member to create an XRP price calculator probably shows that BlackRock, with all the money, with $10 trillion worth of assets, will likely be putting some percentage of that into XRP and likely Ripple the company. There is no doubt in my mind that if the head of digital assets who works at BlackRock went out of their way to work with board members of Ripple to create a device that calculates the exact theoretical price of XRP, that they likely have some interest in what XRP might be valued one day. So does that make me believe that BlackRock will one day, or maybe they already do, hold XRP? Of course they're gonna. XRP is a game-changing digital asset. And if the head of digital assets at BlackRock is already talking about XRP and creating a price calculator for XRP, there's no doubt in my mind BlackRock's gonna be very involved in XRP. And what does this calculator spit out a price of XRP? What does this calculator say the value of XRP is going to be? Well, that's just going to even further blow your mind. If you guys want to check this out, it's unbankedfreedom.com/calc/. And if you go to this tweet right here and scroll around, you'll find some links. It's right on my Twitter. But in this calculator, there's a whole bunch of different categories for what you can fill in, total estimate daily transactions. I'm just going to leave it on what the board member of Ripple and what BlackRock came across on their own. I don't think, even though I'm an XRP enthusiast, I'm a digital asset enthusiast, I don't really think I have the right to really mess with any calculations done by a board member of Ripple or the head of digital assets at BlackRock. So I'm just gonna let this calculator do its thing. We're gonna go with all the preset values and see what price of XRP spits out. And oh, I ruined the surprise. That kind of sucked, but whatever. Value of XRP, $1,632. This is the preset calculator made by the head of digital assets at BlackRock and a board member of Ripple. If that doesn't at least get you interested in what XRP is gonna be, how valuable it's gonna be in transforming our financial system, and that a $10 XRP is nothing. We are talking about something that is worth so much more, and I just want you guys to know this because I don't want to see any of you selling all your XRP at these basement cheap prices at $5 to $10. We hold something worth so much more than that, and if the head of BlackRock and the head of Ripple think that, I think you should think so too. With that said though, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you so much for coming. For now, Mickle out.